Y'all already know. New video. Another reaction. We're reacting to Donut. How much horsepower is a horse? Let's see.
800 horses worth of power? Well, a quick Google search will tell
Like, comment,
you
share,
no,
subscribe.
because one horse can pull about 15 horsepower. But if you dig a little deeper, you realize that this 15 horsepower number comes from a 100-year-old experiment that modern scientists reject. In fact, the very measurement of 1 horsepower is based on an even older experiment that probably never happened and was designed to stretch the truth. And since that time, nobody that I'm aware of has actually put a horse on a dyno to measure its horsepower. Yeah. So, today, we're gonna go off and build the world's first horse dyno and solve a 250-year-old mystery. How much horsepower does one horse actually have? Are we about ready?
We're ready.
Welcome to Donut.
We built Low Truck here to be the ultimate low-buck off-roader, but unfortunately, some of these parts are a little too cheap, like our $100 lighting setup. Fortunately for us, today's sponsor, KC Highlights, is Donut's official off-road grade on November Air 5% diesel powerhouse on your Mustang accessory. Great truck with tonight when if you want to widen from.
Okay, so what's going on with all these confusing numbers, and how did we get the measurement of horsepower in the first place? Well, it's all the work of one very clever person. Let me introduce you to a man named James Watt. Ever heard of the 60-watt light bulb? Yeah, that's the Watt we're talking about here, and he is a pretty big deal. James Watt was an inventor, and during the Industrial Revolution, he made a new type of steam engine that had more power than anything else on the market. And to advertise it, he compared it to the industry standard at the time, which was the horse. And one of the most common uses of horses is to make draft beer. Breweries need to grind a huge amount of grain to make draft beer. How do you do that? Well, you have a team of buff horses that turn a large mill, hence the name draft horse. Now, Watt claimed that he observed a team of draft horses working a full day at a local brewery and concluded that 1 horsepower equals 550 foot-pounds per second. That math has been visualized over and over again by this diagram and printed in millions of science textbooks. We also happen to print it on a t-shirt. But this doesn't seem to be a real experiment. In fact, historians believe this was created by James Watt as an advertisement to sell more steam engines. By Watt's own calculation, his steam engine just so happened to produce 5 to 10 horsepower. Pretty freaking convenient, Mr. Watt. I think that we've all been lied to about horses and horsepower, and I'm determined to get to the bottom of it. So I'm going to find the real number, and I'm gonna do it far better than James Watt ever could by putting a horse on a dyno. So here's the plan. We're gonna need to build a device that lets us transfer the power of a horse onto a dyno. But before we do that, we need to find the right horse. So I'm running into a little bit of a problem here. There are over 350 breeds of horses. Each one of those horses is gonna give a unique horsepower measurement when we put it on the dyno. So, which horse do I pick? Well, because we're trying to establish a new horse-based standard for cars, I think it's best if we try to find a horse that's most car-like. I'm at a ranch with a bunch of different types of horses. We're about to go find our Goldilocks pony. Hey, so we want to dyno a horse. So we need a horse that's up for the challenge.
So here is your typical cow horse. She's really good on like turning.
Well, we need her just to go straight and pull really hard.
Yeah.
I love you though. Whoa. We need someone who's got a little bit more fire, I think.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness, hello. Well, this was a fun bit. We need the most car-like horse, and that means a buff horse with consistent power. Oh my goodness.
Him right here.
He also goes by Big D. And he's considered a light draft horse.
Oh, a draft horse.
Yeah, so they're used for pulling. He's really strong, really powerful.
I think we found our horse. Okay, so this is Normandy. He also goes by Big D, the perfect name. He is a draft horse, which is probably the most car-like horse we could possibly find. Also, James Watt based his experiment on draft horses. So, happy coincidence? Maybe. All I know is that this horse is so freaking perfect. Let's go!
You want to take him out on the range?
I don't think so. Whoa, good boy. Now we're best buddies. We're bonded forever.
I love just riding a horse, bro.
All right,
I'm not
so
gonna
we
lie.
got our horse. Big D is ready for the challenge. Let's
Red Dead
go.
Redemption.
I'm friggin' pumped. Now that we have the right horse, all we have to do is find the right kind of dyno and figure
I
out
should
a
do
way
some
to
Red Dead
hook 'em up
Redemption
to it.
content.
We've
I'm not gonna
dynoed a lot of cars here at Donut. In fact, we've dynoed every single one of these cars. But dynoing a car is a lot easier than dynoing a horse. So if we want to put a horse on a dyno, we first need to figure out what a dyno is and how it works. So dynos measure horsepower, right? Well, not really. A dynamometer measures torque, time, and RPM, and from those measurements, we can calculate horsepower. Now, there are a few types of dynos, but the one we want is called an inertial dyno.
20 minutes.
Inertial dynos, they have 1 or 2 heavy drums that can freely rotate. Now, these drums have a lot of mass. When you have a lot of mass, you have a lot of inertia.
Yeah.
And you can think of inertia as how sluggish an object is when you try to speed it up or slow it down. Allow me to demonstrate. When you place a car on one of these dynos, the tires, they come in contact with the drum. As the engine goes through its RPM range, producing more and more torque, the drum spins faster and faster until the engine runs out of torque. And from that torque value, we can calculate horsepower. Now, the visualization of what happens when that drum spins looks like this. And we call this a power curve. And the peak of that curve is the maximum amount of horsepower your car can make. I think we dead battery. Now, Big D is going to pull on a tension line, and I'm going to use something like a spool to convert his linear motion into rotational motion that will spin the transmission of the car, which will spin the drum, and it'll work something like this. So all Big D needs to do is keep on pulling on that line until we hit a peak on the power curve.
Okay.
That peak will be the true horsepower of 1 horse. Guys, if you think about it, what we're doing here is doing a full-on engine swap with a horse. I don't think anyone's ever done that before. So all that's left for us to do is just figure out
cool as
how to
fuck.
build this.
Like,
at
this is
full
wavy,
scale.
bro.
Now, I have a degree in
What?
mechanical engineering. This is what engineers do. We solve problems. How hard could it be? I've been trying to figure out this build for months.
Okay.
And it's not easy, because trying to find the true horsepower of 1 horse in a very clear scientific way, it takes a lot of work. So I'm starting to realize that maybe I can't do this on my own, and I'm gonna need some help.
Okay.
Hello, hi, I'm Jeremiah Burton. Yeah, nice to finally meet you.
A pleasure.
In case you've been living under a rock, that's Adam Savage.
Okay.
For over a decade, he answered big scientific questions on a little TV show called Mythbusters. And today, he runs one of my favorite channels on YouTube called Tested, which features everything from prop builds to him visiting feature film sets to Adam answering viewers' questions. Now, if there's anybody who can help me figure this out, it's him. I've had this idea of trying to figure out how much horsepower 1 horse makes.
I want to tell you, I can't believe that didn't occur to us. Right up the middle, the kind of stuff we loved to do.
If you had to, figure out this problem, where do you start?
This would be how a story meeting would happen: is I'd write this stuff down on the whiteboard, and then I'd call a physicist, and they would get like angry at me because I would be so far off the mark.
I think this is a project that I'm not going to be able to do on my own.
Yep. It was difficult for me to allow other people into my process, but what I know now is that it's absolutely vital to the process. A proper mechanical engineer should help you be able to thread that needle, and that is, it's not like you set up a system and then it just works. It's a process.
All right, Mr. Savage, thank you so much.
Good luck, man.
After talking with Adam, it's clear that I need some help from some serious engineers. Sometimes in this business, you get lucky. We found a company that wants to help us bring this fever dream to reality. They're called Motivo. They're a do-it-all engineering firm. And so they think that they have a plan that can help us figure out how much horsepower
I feel
a
like I'm
horse
treadmill or
makes.
something.
And here we are. We're pulling in. This place looks sick. That's cool cars. That's a good sign. Supra, 911, E30. You wanna know something cool? This entire company was founded when their founder Praveen started modding his E30 to go faster. Literally, that E30 right there. Now Motivo, they exclusively focus on crazy, ambitious, moonshot ideas. They've made the world's first 3D printed supercar. They worked on the Volvo Supertruck too. They helped build the first vertical takeoff and landing aircraft, and you're about to see electric autonomous tractors popping up on farms that were invented right here. Freaking car people rule. Let's go. Hello, hey, thank you guys. Thanks for having me. Wow, look at this. It's official. Yep. Shall we get into it?
Let's do it. Casey, take it away. Here we are. Yeah, I couldn't find a model of the real Big D, but found the next best thing.
This is what the mad scientist at Motivo came up with. It's a Honda Civic on a mobile dyno with some special fittings in the engine bay so we can power this car by horse. The centerpiece of this design is this spool. Just like we talked about earlier, as the spool gets uncoiled, it converts the linear force provided by Big D into a rotational torque that spins the transmission of the Civic, which then spins the wheels, which then spins the dyno drum. Now, on this rig that Motivo designed, the spool is moved up and out of the engine bay for easy access. Then, to reduce any geometric distortion, the tension line comes back down through these two pulleys so that it's completely level with the horse for the entire pull. Now, obviously, there are some fine details to consider here, like how much power is lost in the system, what sort of gearing will be optimal, and how to make this dyno accurate in measuring a horsepower figure that's probably quite a bit lower than what it was designed for. And the Motivo guys are on it. They're doing the math and running tests to make this world's first horse dyno hold up under real academic
This is dope as hell.
Which reminds me, is this potential for submitting this as an academic paper?
Yeah, totally. Published quite a few, so
Oh, really?
we got you covered.
Okay. Thank you, guys. We've got a horse, we've got a dyno, and we've got a plan for how that horse can send raw horsepower to that dyno. Now all that's left to do is build the rig and get this horse dynoed.
I don't want to I don't want to pause throughout this video because it's a long ass video as it is. But like, really think about it. They're really measuring what horsepower actually is. Like one horse equals. I guess that's wild.
3 weeks later.
All right, it's been a couple weeks. The guys at Motivo have been working on this contraption. First things first, let's go look at it, and then let's see if I can help button this project up. Whoa, heck yeah. You guys have been busy. Hey, I love that we have a Civic. That's great. This is about the type of car we would buy at Donut.
Currently, it's only mounted off the rear strut towers. We can tie it into the front frame down here, so maybe you can actually help us with that.
Yeah, we'd love to. Let's do it.
It's gonna start shooting some sparks.
It looks good. These guys have precision equipment. A lot of times we'll be like, how do we bend this pipe? And it's just like us like snacking. Yeah. Yeah, it looks pretty good. Here we go. Damn. That's insane. Let's party. So right now we're tacking in some more points on this structure. And we can unbolt it from the car, put it on the welding
I wanna
table,
learn how to weld
and burn all the welds in so that it's super rigid. Engineering, fabrication, science.
Let me know what I can do. Dude, jump in. I'm not even kidding. For real? If you're serious, jump in. I'll take the camera.
I genuinely want that.
Like a stalagmite. Like a stalagmite. Quote unquote, f***ing stalagmite piece of shit. And with that, we have our rig inside the car now.
Bam.
See those wheels spinning? Yeah, baby. And that is how we're gonna dyno a horse. So a very successful day here at Motivo. We've got the rig pretty much buttoned up. There's a few small things we're gonna have to finish up. But for the most part, we've just built the world's first horse dyno. Now the only concern I have right now is that Big D has to pull harder than he's ever pulled in his entire life. So I think it's time for me to visit Big D and give him a little bit of a pep talk. Coach Burton, here I come.
Hey, Big D. So tomorrow's a really important day. Yeah, it really is. I just gotta let you know, you gotta do this.
You the horse
for
worried about the fire.
all the car guys out there in the world. I know you've pulled stuff in the past, but what I'm gonna need you to do is pull that horse dyno harder than you've ever pulled anything in your entire life. Can you do that? Can you? I know, we gotta let go of the past. We've made some mistakes in the past too, but tonight, it's about letting go of our mistakes.
Double horse.
You ready to get the heck out of here? I'm scared, dude. Let's go. Come on.
Nah, I'm like
Today
I'm
is
like
a big
real
day. We got the horse
excited to see
here.
what's
We
gonna
got the
happen.
dyno here. And we have the car that will be rigged to use that dyno. All here. A lot has gone into this. I'm pretty nervous. I don't know how well
money,
this is
lot of
going to
brain
work.
power.
But everyone's here. Big production. Lots of people. And luckily for me, I have my support system with me as they're walking up right now. I wore all my horse merch. Hello, hello. You guys want to see this rig?
Yeah. Whoa. Wow. I see what's going on here.
This is a engine swap with a horse.
Yeah.
So this thing will roll right up on this dyno. As you can see, it's a dyno jet, mobile dyno.
Yep, just standard thing.
In theory, all this should come together perfectly. Wow. Do you see how well built it is?
Yeah.
I did some of those welds.
Did you?
Eddie did too.
Uh-oh.
Yeah.
Oh, no.
So if it does break, it's all of our fault. Do you guys need any assistance at all?
You want to connect the laser?
Yeah.
Dude, there's lasers? Now I'm in.
Usually you would measure engine RPM, but the horse is the engine. So there's reflective tape and the laser just ticks at each revolution.
This is as close to dyno measurement as you can get.
Yep.
Here we go. Green light on.
Pretty cool. Pretty dope.
I'm super excited. Dona is making science videos. That's pretty legit science with real engineers. You can't do it all yourself. This is gonna be cool. The car is on the dyno. The rig is working. We figured, hey, why don't we see if the Donut Boys can create some horsepower?
Yeah, so you got your cleats on.
I got my cleats on. I'll do the initial test. I think I'm gonna over shoulder it. Yeah.
I think
and
you
then
go
try to
between the
accelerate.
legs.
I might go in between the legs. Are we about ready?
We're ready.
Good? Okay, cool.
All right, Jer. 0 horsepower. That's my guess.
Jer's got leverage on his side. I'll give him 0.1. It's not a good rope.
I know, it's not a good rope for holding on to. If I do a quarter horsepower, I'll be happy.
Yeah, that'd be cool. I guess 0, but I guess we could.
It's all you.
Okay.
All right, Jer.
It's moving. Yeah.
Jeez, this looks tough.
And now accelerate.
Oh my goodness.
You're doing it. You're an engine, Jerry. You're an engine. Full power.
That's as good as I can get it. Dude, my hands are shredded. Oh my God. Okay, let's go look at my results.
I think my guess might have been right.
Good job.
Oh man, that was tough.
Now remember that the reading here is at the dyno, and we'll have to process the data, and your power rating will be higher than that.
Right, and the reason for that has to do with the difference between wheel horsepower and crank horsepower. You see, every car loses a little bit of power due to the friction in the transmission, the axles, the wheels, etc. And a car's total power after all those mechanical losses is what we call wheel horsepower. It's the power that makes it to the wheel of the car. Crank horsepower is the pure power output from a car's engine before all those mechanical losses. In our case, we want to find crank horsepower because the car is just being used as a tool to interact with the dyno. But this is a little tricky because it's only possible for the dyno to measure wheel horsepower.
I feel like there's a
So the
better-
only way
there's
to
a-
get a crank
because he-
horsepower figure is through math. Lots and lots of math.
Because he particularly wanted to use a dyno, which is why, because I'm like thinking of a way right now where it would be so much easier, like than to just use a dyno. But dyno's fire.
The guys at Motivo did rigorous testing and research to build a mathematical model of the mechanical losses and characteristics of the dyno, the entire drivetrain of the car, and every part of the custom fitting they built. It's a ton of math and physics to work out and a little bit of waiting around. So, in the meantime, here's a chicken I saw wandering around the ranch. I do voiceover chicken stuff too, if you're interested. All right, I think Julius has some numbers for us. How much did I make after we crunched the numbers?
1.16 horsepower.
Wow, 1 horse!
Dude, a whole
horsepower.
Dude, heck yeah! Awesome. This is actually a huge win for our horse dyno here because 1.16 horsepower isn't super far off from the figures that are commonly cited for the horsepower that one person can pull.
1.6 horsepower. That's not bad.
But in order to make sure it's working accurately, we gotta keep testing it.
Don't blow anything out. I'll try my best.
Go.
Oh, yeah.
I don't have any grip.
He needs the cleats.
Go, go. Dig it, let's go, let's go.
He's moving now. Oh, yeah. 2 miles an hour.
Damn.
Go.
Oh, he's digging.
He got it.
Dig.
Yeah.
Got it.
Keep going.
Dude.
Dig. Yeah.
Woo!
Heck yeah.
I lost feeling in my hand.
What did Justin get?
He got 1.21.
Yeah, well, listen, all right. You beat me. We should all pull it together.
All right, let's do it.
Hey, this is literally,
This is it, guys.
this is for all of YouTube. This could be embarrassing.
What?
We're going to be the most powerful YouTubers.
Okay, you ready?
3, 2, 1. Oh, that straightened up. Yep.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, broke my fingers.
Oh yeah. Easy.
Yeah, man.
Yeah.
Oh,
People.
Woo!
3-4 horsepower.
All right.
7 miles an hour, I heard.
I heard 7. Ugh, I have to poop so bad right now. I don't know if we're representing how hard that was, but that was tough.
I
If
think
you're gonna
we
do
are.
that every day,
You'd be strong as
you'd
hell.
be strong as hell.
I think we're gonna get over it too.
As a group,
As a group, yeah, what did we get?
1.9.
dang it. So close to 2.
Dude, we should have been 2. You brought us down.
You brought us down.
Sorry, guys. I was dragging my feet.
Yeah. Now it's time to do what we came here for.
Yeah.
And that's get Big D on this rig.
A nigga like me, I would have done like 10. I'm just saying.
Big
Don't be
Dino
mad at me.
horse.
Don't
Big
be
D
mad
on
at me.
3. 1, 2, 3. Big D.
This is about to happen. They're about to hook up Big D to the contraption and let him take a run at it.
Big D's safety is the most important concern in this experiment. In case anything goes wrong, we can completely detach Big D from the rig. We have some quick release switches right here. But the most critical safety feature is that Big D is only allowed 5 pulls before he's done for the day. And that's because he's gonna pull at his maximum strength. So we only have 5 chances to get this right. And because of that, we're adding a secondary way to record dyno data from Big D.
Yeah, that's what I was
So you
thinking.
see that
Put it
thing
on.
attached to Big D? So that's a highly accurate GPS device. GPS accurate within a centimeter.
That's wild.
Working in conjunction with the
That is exactly what I was
GPS is a
thinking
load cell that gives us force data. So we're measuring speed, distance, and pulling force from 2 redundant systems. We're gonna take all that and we're gonna get a horsepower figure. Look how beautiful this guy is. It's almost go time. Big D is about to do his first pull and possibly make horsepower history.
Yo.
All the work we've put into this over the last couple months, all the research we've done, the friends we've made, and the challenges we've overcome
I'm not
all
gonna lie.
come down
3
to
humans
this.
did like
a
average,
dyno,
like average
a hacked up
humans did
Honda
like
Civic, and
2
a buff as
damn near
heck
2
Big
horsepower.
D. Motivo guys, we
I
good?
said
Everyone good to go? Dyno guy good to go? I'm ready.
he gonna get like 10.
Let's go. Here we go.
The
All
10
right,
horsepower.
we're in gear. Everyone's good to go. All right, 3, 2, 1, let's go.
Get it, Big D.
Yeah, dig it.
There's the
Dig
burnout.
it. Let's go.
Oh, yeah.
Let's go.
No problem
Let's
at
go.
all.
Yeah.
Light work for a big guy like that.
Nah, he
Good
got it.
boy. Dude, did you see him just freaking pull?
He got it.
Bogged down a little bit, and he
He
was
got
like,
it.
I'm not stopping here. Oh, boom, boom. That was so sick.
Nah, he
I didn't even
got
know
it.
if he knew the thing was on the back of him.
Dude, that was
what do you
sick.
think?
I don't know. We're waiting on the data to come in so we can figure out what the number is. Boys are back there crunching away. Yeah, let's
Jer,
see. Hey.
we need to talk.
Okay, let's hear it.
There's a small glitch with your laser. We're getting not a number, which means that the RPMs are not computing that well.
Okay. We're running into a little bit of a problem. The laser that we're using to get rotational data is not really working. We're figuring it out.
We were fearing this might happen, so we actually prepared a homemade optical encoder. We're thinking about just sticking this to the wheel, putting a GoPro.
Yep.
You can later process.
Perfect. Okay, that's
Small
good.
glitch,
Yeah.
but that's science.
Who needs lasers when you have paper?
Exactly.
Okay, here we go.
Okay.
Time to see Big D in action. All right, Motivo guys, we good? Good. Big D crew, we're good. Dyno guy, we're good. 3, 2, 1. Yeah, go, go, I think we're gonna do this a couple times.
Yep.
Then we'll take all this data set, average it all out, get a nice solid number, and that'll be it.
Oh, it's lining back up.
Yeah, let's do it again. Let's go. Let's go.
That horse is pulling. He's getting tired though.
Yeah,
He's pulling out. He's pulling
He pulled the crap out of that thing. We now officially have dyno data from multiple successful pulls done by Big D. And again, just like before, we have to do some physics and math to account for the mechanical losses of the system so that we can finally find out the true horsepower Big D makes. I want you to meet the whole science team behind this whole ordeal. We have Julius, Casey, Tony, a guy named Alex who's not here right now. He's in a cave crunching numbers. These are all the guys and a lot of other people that went into building this entire experiment to research standards. We're now making critical decisions about how to interpret the data we got and what statistical model we use so that our results will hold up under academic peer review. We need to make sure that that number we're about to blast out to the world today is truly the crank horsepower of Big D. I'm not gonna lie, I'm nervous as heck right now. I haven't felt this kind of pressure since my 3rd grade science fair.
All right, we have a number. Drum roll.
We've crunched the numbers. We now have a true crank horsepower rating for one horse. And that number is 5.7 horsepower. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. I gotta thank the guys over at Motivo, Big D, of course, and Horses for Productions. Also, Adam Savage. Thank you guys so much for watching. Like, subscribe, all that fun stuff. Bye for now. I have a big surprise for you guys. Remember when we were complicit in spreading James Watt's lie about horsepower when we put it on a t-shirt? Well, we're making our wrongs right. Ta-da! We got a brand new Hurstburst t-shirt using the actual math and data that we got from the experiment to get our 5.7 horsepower number. This thing is beautiful. We got the Civic on there, on the dyno, with all the...
That's fire. What was the previous... Yeah, James Watt said 14.9. What kind of horse was he using? What the hell?
And most importantly, we have Big D and all